All right, I think we are good to go and we are live. So let's see. Work with me. All right, we're good to go and we are live. Hey guys, what's up? If you're catching this live, hey, what's going on? If you're catching this in the replay, hey, what's going on? I wanted to really start off the new year right. I know it's at the time of recording, it is the 6th. And I really wanted to bring back this segment, Is It Friday Yet? And really just get into some deeper depths of topics, some more advanced stuff so that we can really get the ball rolling and see some really good progress in 2022. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Jordan. I am the creator, founder, mad genius behind Boss Life in Progress, which is a career coaching company. And I work with millennials who want to, in the most cliche terms I can think of, level up and find and land. So find and secure their dream job. And basically, what I'm going to be doing today, and really what I've been doing on my social media, is just letting you guys know that you don't have to A, hate what you're doing, B, compromise who you are to get a check, and C, just have that dream job that you've been looking for. And instead of really focusing on your dream job this year, I want you to focus on your dream career. So we're going to look at the bigger picture, because when we look at one job, it's great in the moment, but when you want to really branch out and do what you got to do, you want to start looking in a larger scope, and that would be in your career. So we're going to go ahead and get started now after I said my little spiel. And just let me pull this up. Okay. So we're going to be talking about career planning and using, if you're in corporate, then you probably know what I'm talking about. There's a time every year where you and your boss, supervisor, manager, whatever, will sit down and you'll come up with these goals and these plans for the year. Or if you don't do that with your supervisor, then this is now the time for you to sit down and come up with goals for yourself this year. Because if you're not working towards goals, if you're not working towards something, that might be a correlation between why you might feel stuck or unhappy, undervalued, underpaid. These are not just things that come out of the blue. They are closely associated with purpose, fulfillment, being paid well. So you definitely want to not go with the flow on this one, but actually put together a plan, implement that plan, and then learn to pivot. So let's go ahead and get started. So typically, like I said, at the beginning of the year, you'll sit down with your supervisor and come up with some goals for the upcoming year to achieve what is a subjective word, success. And this success is going to be based on metrics. And this can lead to one of two things. The first thing being, you said you wrote down a bunch of goals just to appease your manager or your company, and you either throw them on your computer in a file that you're never going to see again, or maybe like you wrote them down and now they're in like your junk drawer at work. And at the end of the year, you might pull them, if you can find them, from your desktop or physical location and see that you haven't really accomplished anything that you set out to accomplish. Or what happens more than likely is that you can't find them and you're like, oh, dang, don't know where they were. I wasn't actively working towards them, so they weren't really on the forefront of my mind. And so the second thing that that tends to happen, and I would want to happen for you, is that you stick to these goals and you actually complete the goals. And that's what I would love to happen for all of you, all of my clients, all of you watching this live and on the replay. But what tends to happen for the people that are ambitious and they set the goals and they try to stick with them, there's no intention or structure behind them. And so again, like the first option, you kind of fall off after a while. You stick it out for a while, but you kind of fall off. So when goals and tasks are not set out in front of us, we tend to forget them or overlook them or find something in the cosmos that's more important than the goals that we've set for ourselves in the beginning of the year. And then we procrastinate, put it off, whether you call it perfectionism or procrastination, whatever you want to call it. We put them off and we find that at the end of the year, we haven't really accomplished much. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. I'm really taking this seriously this year. I set goals, but I also kind of fall off of them as well. I'm sure as we all do. But I really want to make sure that this year me and you, are sticking to what we said and making sure that our goals are being met. And so, whether you're looking to get a new position, transitioning into a new role, you're looking for that promotion or raise, you can't just sit idly by and let these things come to you, because more likely than not, they're not just going to fall out of the air. And I know a lot of times we feel like we're doing all of the quote right things or quote all the things, but sometimes, or most of the time, actually, a lot of times, what you did to get where you are is not going to take you to where you want to be. You're going to have to put in a little bit more elbow grease, get out there, get your name out in these, your name out in these corporate streets or your whatever streets you're on, and professionally, of course. But just make sure that you are getting your name out there and also improving your skill. Another thing we're going to be working on this year, improving skills. We're going to start where we are, but we are improving skills. And so, how do you actually sit down and create this plan for success without wasting your time, or it just being, or you just trying to appease your manager and not actually caring about it? So, if you guys didn't know, I had a career planning workshop, and I'll leave that down in the description below so you can click on it and gain access. It's one of the many trainings in the Boss Vault, and the Boss Vault is just my one free resource center where I have a bunch of videos and blog posts and just things that I think will really help you boost yourself up in your career this year and going forward. I cycle things out as the job market updates. There's templates in there. There's a bunch of stuff. Go in the description, click it, get access, and go watch the Career Planning Workshop 2022, and you're going to get some real gems. And so basically, what the first step you can do in the career planning success, and I talked about this in depth in the training, so make sure you go ahead and do that. Go ahead and watch the training, is you want to start with the end in mind. We always talk about smaller goals that we have, or we really kind of don't even talk about the goals we have. But when you start with the end in mind, you want to ask yourself, what are your big, scary goals at the end of this? What is your career vision? And career vision is just another term for where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself towards the end of your career, and how are you actually going to get there? And we'll get to the how in a minute, but what is your career vision? So when you understand where you're going, it's easier for you to get there. So by starting with your big, scary goal, you actually allow your brain to reverse engineer the process. Way easier to go from Z to A than A to Z, because if you're going from Z to A, you're like, okay, at the end of this, I want to be in a manager position. Okay, now rolling back, what do I need to do to get there? Versus you have no idea where you're going. How are you going to make a plan if you don't know where you're going? How are you going to, it's like going on a trip and you don't even know the end destination. You're just booking stuff, going anywhere. You don't know what you're doing when you get there. What amenities will you have? Where are you going to stay? What attractions are you going to? Like, it just doesn't make sense to start from the beginning and not know or not have an idea of where you're going in the end. Now, could you pivot? Could you say, you know what, after a year or two of this isn't where I want to be? Of course. Then you do this again, you do your career plan again, and you pivot. But for right now, we're going to stick with whatever you foresee yourself being at the end of your career. And if you're like, I have no idea, make sure you go and check out the other videos on my channel, especially the ones about figuring out what you want to do by looking at things like your values, your strengths, your personality, your weaknesses, all these different things in your life. Take a look at those videos and you really can start to narrow down what to do. So moving on, ultimately goes to help you set different goals and tasks for yourself that you can accomplish and see progress with. When we have our big scary goals, we tend to, oh, did it stop? Okay. All right, we're back. So when we have our big scary goals, we tend to just only see that goal on the horizon, and it's so far away, and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. I can't do it. Me personally, if I have too many things on my plate, I will get overwhelmed, and nothing is getting done. Absolutely nothing. And so I have to break it down in smaller chunks because that makes me feel like, hey, I can do this. I have smaller goals and I understand from the bigger picture what I want going forward. And so I set myself milestones, and we'll talk about that in the second one. But the difference between a useless and actionable plan is one includes your big, scary goal that you'll actually be motivated to complete the plan, where whether you change it or not, you need to incorporate your vision. So a actionable plan includes your big scary goal, your vision, what you want to do. A useless plan, again, I don't want to say useless, but a plan that you're not going to stick to doesn't have the motivation, the vision, the thought behind it. It's just kind of a very broad, very surface level goal. So when you say, for example, this is something everybody can relate to, when you say things like, hey, I want to lose weight, that's great, but there's no, okay, what's the why behind it? How many pounds do you want to lose? What's the time frame? What's reasonable for you? If you say I want to lose 50 pounds in 2 days, that's not going to work. What's reasonable for you? And so same thing in your career, you want to tell yourself, hey, I want to be in this managerial role in the next 5 years. What do I need to do? What do I need to reverse engineer in order to do that? And so the second thing, so the first step to career planning success is to start with the end in mind and think about your career vision and big scary goal. Second is to set and measure your milestones. We as human beings, like our psychology, when we have too many things on our plate, we tend to kind of just drift off. And the good thing, there's an analogy. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And basically what it means is you need to start, look at the elephant, look at the goal, and then start with one itty bitty piece at a time. And so you need to measure your mini goals or achievements to keep yourself motivated and inspired to keep pushing as the year goes on, or as the years go on, or months, whatever you set the time frame for your goal. And so in order to do this, and I've already kind of sprinkled this in here throughout this training, SMART goals. You need SMART goals. If you haven't heard that acronym, then you're hearing it today. SMART. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based or oriented. So time-based. And so you need to get specific, super specific. I want to lose weight is not a SMART goal. I want to lose 10 pounds within the next 2 months so that I can feel better and, feel great, whatever. That is a better SMART goal, but we can even get a little bit tighter than that. We can say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months by using a mixture of cardio and weightlifting. And I'm going to go to the gym X amount of days and eat right. That's more of a SMART goal. For example, to give a career example, let's say you want to go from an HR assistant to an HR manager. So if we're using a SMART goal, we'd say, I want to become an HR manager in the next 5 years. Let's say 10. No, 5. Well, I want to become an HR manager in the next 5 years. So now that we're looking at our SMART goal, which that's good, but it's not, we need to tighten it up a little bit. But I want to become an HR manager in 5 years. So what do I need to do? I need to land an HR assistant position within year 1. And I need to kind of learn from that ground, especially this is for if you're starting, you need to learn from that ground base level. If you're going from another job to HR, then you're taking the skills that you have, and you'll kind of need to tweak this, but you get what I'm saying. So land that HR assistant role within year 1. Then step 2 would be to move within 3 years to a generalist or specialist track, right? And then within 2 years, get leadership experience in year 3 or 4 and 5, along with networking, and on and on and on until year 5 or 6 or whatever, you're at the HR manager role. This is literally you just making an outline, a huge bird's eye view on what you want to do. And then once you do that, go back. And this is number 3. So number 3 is just fill in the details. So we've talked about you want to be an HR manager year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're going to go from your 0 to 1. What do you need to do? Plan the next step and tasks within that year. And if you want to break it down even further, plan the tasks or steps for the next 6 months. Do it in 6-month intervals. That is going to give you enough time to not only plan, but also to accomplish these roles. We know that as a professional trying to build a career, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in 1 or 2 years. This is going to be a constant planning and implementing cycle that you will need to do. And so you will need to go ahead and fill in those details. Make it super, super easy on yourself. When things get too difficult, we don't want to do it. So make this super easy on yourself and start from year 0. So the start to year 1. What do you need to do in the first 6 months? What do you need to do in the second 6 months? And you just need to go from there and keep going and keep going. Now, you don't have to plan the finer details of like year 3 and on, because once you get to year 2, you'll start over that year 1 and 2 process. If you start planning out too far, you'll confuse yourself and you'll start being like, oh, I can't do this. It's too much. So start with year 1, year 0, 1, and 2. And then you can go from year 2 to 3 to 4, whatever. Just pick intervals that make sense to you and just plan it out, fill in the details. And then step 4, do it. That is step 4, is to do it and implement the plan. You have the details, you have the plan, implement it. You're going to fall off. You're going to struggle. You're going to be like, what is this? I can't do it. At the end of the day, you have this plan that you can go back to. Put it on your fridge, put it on the wall in front of your computer, put it in your office, put it on your mirror in your bathroom. Just do something so that you can constantly see your goals. A lot of people will do this with their affirmations. A lot of people will do this with their like positive mantras and whatever. Do it with your career goals. If it's something that you need to pop on your desk, you need to tape it down so that it doesn't get all gross or whatever. Do it, laminate it, do what you got to do. Just keep the goals in front of your face, and you're really going to be able to not only continue with the goals, but complete the goals. And when you complete these mini milestones that you set for yourself in like 6-month increments, you're going to feel so badass about yourself, and you're going to want to keep going, versus you tried to plan out the next 5 years of your life and one thing didn't go well, and now you're kind of like trying to freak out, and you're like, oh no, and you're just going off of this like cliff in your mind. But that's not helpful. So let's start smaller, year 0, 1, 2, 6-month increments, and you can do it. So with that being said, those are the 3. The career planning success is start with the end in mind, set and measure your milestones, and then fill in the details, and lastly, do it. All that planning, all that writing, all that focus that you had, now is the time that you're going to implement it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to DM me. Let me see if I can pull this up. You can DM me at Boss Life in Progress. That is my Instagram. You can catch my blog posts and different ways to work with me at www.bosslifeinprogress.com. And you can also email me at jordan@bosslifeinprogress.com. And just make sure that you guys are really taking this seriously this year. I'm really starting to put out some really good, even advanced trainings that are really going to help you from the entry-ish level, going from the mid to the senior. So make sure you guys are really tuning in for that. Again, if you would like to catch the career planning workshop, where I actually sit down and go through all of this and more in depth. And you also get a workbook as well. Make sure you guys click the link down in the description so that you can get access to not only the career planning workshop in the Boss Vault, but all of the other trainings in the Boss Vault. It's free. Use your free resources. If you need a little bit of extra help, if you need a little bit of extra one-on-one, feel free. I'll put it down in the description below as well. Is my Career Goals Academy, is my one-on-one coaching program where you and I will sit down together and figure it out. I'm talking resume, interview, LinkedIn, salary negotiations, market positioning, positioning in the market, all this different type of stuff. We will sit down and figure it out together, and I will help you walk through your application processes, your networking, all that good stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you check down in the description below for that link as well. I'm gonna go now. So I will catch you guys on my next segment. If you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments, DM me. I would also love for you guys to send in or comment some more topics that you'd like to see me go live. I'll also be doing Q&As, so make sure you guys catch that. And I will see you guys on my next segment.